Well, here's a rather forgotten flagship luxury sedan, the 2015 to 2018 Kia K900. And yes, I'm fully aware that there is a 2019 to 2020 K900 for the United States market. However, that is a fully redesigned model. We're not going to be talking about that here today. We're going to be focused on this 2015 to 2018 generation. And for those of you that don't know what this is, well, it is a true flagship sedan from the company Kia that's meant to compete with things like the BMW 5 Series, the 7 Series, Mercedes E-Class, Mercedes S-Class, you know, some of the finest German cars out there. That's what this K900 is meant to compete with. And also the K900 is mechanically related to the Hyundai Equus as well. So why did Hyundai and Kia decide to make a car like this? After all, they are known for making economy cars. Well, Kia themselves, they stated that they wanted to redefine consumer perception and expectations of the Kia brand. Because let's be honest, Kia and Hyundai, they are seen as the bottom barrel, cheapest, low-end type of car that you can possibly drive in the United States. And they wanted to change that. They wanted to change that perception. And one of the ways they thought they can do that is by making a true German car competitor that's rear-wheel drive, and also pay LeBron James some money to drive around in it and shoot some commercials with it. So that's some of the stuff that they did to help out the Kia brand. And you know what? I honestly think it worked. I mean, yes, this was technically a commercial failure. They did not sell many units at all. I think in 2014, because they started to sell this car in 2014 as a 2015 model year, they sold like 1,300 units. And then in 2015, they sold like 2,500 units for that entire year. And then ever since then, they only sold like a couple hundred K900s every year all the way up to 2021. So honestly, this car is probably more rare than some supercars even. Like, not too many people bought into this, and rightfully so. You know, American Express Platinum users and, you know, VIPs, let's be honest, a Kia is just not on their radar. But that's not the point. They're trying to change their brand perception, and I think it worked, because nowadays Kias and Hyundais are in super high demand. People love these cars. In fact, most Kia dealerships, they're acting like they're Bentley dealerships. I mean, they're charging over MSRP, like charging 75 grand for a Telluride. You know, they're just going crazy with it. They consistently put out legitimate products like this year after year. Their normal eco cars got better year after year. Journalists, including myself, loved their products that they were putting out. We tested them, we liked them, and the consumers saw that Kia, Hyundai, they were making good looking cars, great features, very safe, and priced extremely well. So people were starting to see the value and starting to see all the glorious reviews, right, that most of these journalists were putting out, and they love it. But I will say, you know, Hyundai and Kia, they do need to do something about their cars just constantly catching on fire. Somebody needs to do something about that. But regardless, glossing over that, their products are pretty good. But anyway, back to the K900. In 2015, when it first came out, it was only available as a V8 model. So it came with a 5-liter direct injected, naturally aspirated V8 engine, pushing out 420 horsepower and 376 pounds-feet of torque. Those are some pretty legitimate numbers. And this was all mated to a 8-speed automatic transmission. There was also a V6 engine pushing out 311 horsepower and 293 pounds-feet of torque. That was introduced for the 2016 model year, and the V8 kind of became the premium option choice, if you will. But back in 2015, when this first came out, the base V8 or the premium V8 trim level started at around $55,000, and the higher end luxury V8 trim level that started at around $60,000. So yeah, it's obvious to see why not too many people bought into the K900 when it was new. You could have also leased this car, but clearly nobody is really educated about leasing in the United States. Nobody really knows what that is aside from some business owners. The car was around 200.6 inches long total. So once again, competing with those flagship 7 Series S-Class type vehicles, had a 120 inch long wheelbase. huge wheelbase, plenty of space inside of this car. So it's going after kind of like the 7 Series type cars in terms of its size, but it's priced more like it's closer to like the 5 Series, if you will, and came with a ton of great standard features, and the optional features were pretty excellent as well, which I'll talk about later on. This car had a proper suspension setup. It had a multi-link front and rear independent suspension, pretty much one of the best suspension architectures that you can possibly get, leading to excellent ride quality and excellent handling as well for what it is, because the car does weigh 4,555 pounds. Quite heavy, especially considering the fact that this is rear-wheel drive only. It's not even an all-wheel drive model, so 4,500 pounds, that's quite a lot. It did come with 19-inch wheels with a staggered tire setup, 245 wide tires in the front and 275s in the rear. They were a chrome 19-inch wheel design. And the fuel economy for the V8 models was 15 mpg in the city, 23 on the highway. So those are some of your basic specs. Now, regarding options, standard equipment, technology, all that good stuff, I mean, this car came with pretty much everything that you see in today's cars, honestly. I mean, this is an 8-9-year-old car now at this point, nearly a decade old, but the stuff that this car came with, it's pretty much everything that you see today, aside from Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. This car obviously didn't come with those features, but it pretty much came with everything else, like a 12-way adjustable driver's seat, heated and cooled seats for the front and the rear. Some of these features, you know, they weren't standard, but they were a part of a package or as a separate option, if you will. But regardless, these features were there. It was available even in 2015, and that's what made this car so impressive and such a great value proposition, because a lot of the phenomenal features came with things like the technology package or even the VIP package with the V8 models. And once you got that VIP package, you got reclining rear seats and electronically adjusted headrests, things of that nature. Once again, you know, really solidifying it as a true luxury sedan, right? That's meant to compete with things like the 7 Series, the Audi A8s, and the S-Class. We had a 12.3-inch full-color LCD instrument panel screen. We had a 9.2-inch touchscreen for the infotainment. We had a heads-up display, plenty of excellent safety features, things like blind spot monitoring, rear cross traffic alert, lane departure warning, things like blind spot monitoring and rear cross traffic alert. That was an option with a certain trim level, but in 2017 they actually made those features standard. But definitely some great features to have even as an option in 2015. The car also came with a proper 900-watt Lexicon audio system, and this was standard actually for 2015 at least, primarily because standard, it only came as a V8 engine option in 2015. So with those cars, the 900-watt Lexicon audio system was standard, and this is a 17 speaker audio system. I'm going to have some information displayed on the screen here for you to check out regarding this, but the Lexicon system is genuinely till this day one of my more favorite audio systems that I've listened to in a car that's under 6 figures. It is very impressive. And of course, this came with Bluetooth as well, along with aux and USB connectivity. We had leather seats with the base models, and then once you step up in trim, you had proper quilted Napa leather seats. I mean, the car just came with everything that you would associate with a proper flagship car, except it was just priced really well as long as you could stomach that Kia badge on the front of the car. Regarding the engine, some of the technology that they utilized, of course, was the direct injection. This is pretty much just common practice now in a lot of modern day engines, of course, for power and fuel economy reasons. We also had a specially tuned air intake that improves the airflow, while the roller type timing chain and the Teflon coated crank oil seal reduce frictional losses. The fast heating catalytic converter helps to reduce emissions. And of course, the V8 engine and the V6 engine, they were both mated to a 8-speed automatic transmission. Of course, the tuning was changed for the V6 models regarding the 8-speed transmission, but regardless, it was the same unit, and you had eco, normal, and sport modes to choose from. We also had a electro-hydraulic steering rack, and to reduce NVH, we had standard laminated side glass windows and plenty of sound deadening materials being used to make this car as quiet as it can be. And as I mentioned regarding the various model year changes, 2015 was the first model year of this car, but in 2016, that's when they introduced that V6 engine with 311 horsepower. Once again, this is a naturally aspirated V6 engine. And another fun fact is the V6 utilized in the K900 was the most powerful V6 ever put in a Kia product, and also the Kia K900 was the first Kia to utilize a V8 engine as well. Other things to note for the 2016 model year, we actually saw some slight exterior styling changes, like the rear end and also the grille in the front. And also we had more standard equipment like hands-free trunk opener and automatic emergency braking. You had those two features introduced as standard features in 2016. 2017 is, like I already mentioned, that's when they made the blind spot monitoring and the rear cross traffic alert as standard features. And in 2018, that was the final model year of this generation K900, and also there was no new changes in 2018. And if you want to buy this car in the used market, good luck, because there's not very many available, at least not ones with low mileage, at least, you know, under 40,000 miles. There's not a whole lot of them. And yes, of course, buying that V8, it's the one that most people are going to want. That was the special car. If you're going to buy a K900 and have that ultra stealth wealth type car, then you had to get one of the fully loaded models with the V8 engine, have all those crazy features, and just fly under the radar. I mean, that was the beauty of this car, new and used, honestly. Because, I mean, when you look at it, it just looks like an Optima. It looks like nothing, really. I mean, nobody's going to look twice at you when you drive around in this car. And some people, maybe that's exactly what they want. They want to drive a car that has literally everything in it, but they love the fact that it has that unassuming Kia badge on it. It's not that the car looks bad or anything. It's just, it doesn't look exciting either, right? It's just normal looking sedan. And this just wasn't something that most people were ready to fork over 60 grand for when it was new, because, well, they would just go buy a $60,000 5 Series or something instead, right? They wouldn't even care that it came with like a 4-cylinder engine. They would rather just have the Beamer or the Merc or whatever, because let's be real, people don't work hard in life to buy a Kia. I mean, that's just not the thing that they want, especially with BMW existing in this world as the king of new car leases. There's really little to no point in buying any other new car, because BMWs were like the ultimate lease hack pre-pandemic. I mean, people were driving inline 6 4 Series cars for like $300 to $500 a month. BMW was that go-to lease hack vehicle for sure. This was back when you not only had great discounts on the cars, because you can get 10 to 12% off MSRP on a new BMW today if you shop on the Lease Hacker forum. That's besides the point, but pre-pandemic you had low interest rates and you had a ton of incentives as well. In some cases, like almost $10,000 worth of incentives on cars like the 4 Series, and that's part of the reason why they leased out so cheap. When savvy customers that really know how to do market research and want the finer things in life for next to nothing, they're going to skip over things like these Kias and these Acuras and these Lexus products, and they're just going to go lease themselves a brand new BMW for next to nothing. I think some people were even hacking 7 Series cars for like $550 a month. So you can see why BMW just crushes new luxury car sales in the United States. And that's only for the people that know how to negotiate, know how to do research. Those types of people, they take advantage of deals like that. Most people are just concerned with financing or paying cash for a car, so they're just not aware of these leasing techniques. But regardless, that's what the savvy new car customers did, especially in the luxury car market, because let's be honest, cars like this, they get outdated very quickly. I mean, today, nobody is thinking about this car. Nobody cares about this car. And that's kind of sad, because this was a true high effort product from the Kia brand. That's why I wanted to shed some light on it. But let us know in the comment section, Are you an owner of a K900? How has it held up for you? Or even a Hyundai Equus, actually, because that's a car that's mechanically related to the K900. Let us know how you bought this car. Did you buy it brand new? Did you lease it new? Or did you buy it used for next to nothing? Because I do remember a time when K900s, low mileage, they were going for like 25 grand in the used car market. And that's back when the car was newer and had less mileage. So they were an absolute steal back then, especially when you got it certified pre-owned, because another great aspect of these Kias was the 10-year, 100,000 mile warranty. If you bought the car certified pre-owned from a Kia store, you were able to roll that warranty difference over to you. So if the car was 3 years old with 30,000 miles on it and it was certified, then you still got to have a 7-year, 70,000 mile warranty left over that you could take advantage of. Nowadays, I mean, if you're truly shopping for a luxury Korean car today, I would personally recommend the Genesis G80 and the Genesis G90 products. But the K900 was definitely cool if you were able to pick one up at a phenomenal price. And if you're one of those people, let us know in the comment section. I would love to hear from you. But I'll have the next video on the end screen here for you to check out. Click on it and I will see you there.